Welcome to yet another week into your entertainment portal of showbiz news from South Africa and the rest of the continent. This is Afroshowbiz News and my name is Refilwe Mundlo. In your showbiz headlines this week, Senegalese master drummer and the backbone of the country's musical tradition, Doudou Ndiaye Rose, dies at the age of 85. Recycled art is slowly weaving its way in the streets of Soweto. The port city of Jamestown had the biggest street gallery fest with the 2005 Chale Wat Festival. The world of music is mourning the death of Senegalese master drummer Doudou Ndiaye Rose. Born 85 years ago into Senegal's griot lineage of musicians and storytellers, he inherited the secrets of the drum, learning to weave magical sounds of the rhythmic beats of traditional Africa. Ndiaye, named a living human treasure by UNESCO in 2006, died earlier this week.
The Senegalese legend continued to play until his death. His last performance was at the 4th edition of the Degui Dodge International Music Festival in celebration of his 55th birthday last month in Dakar. He may not have achieved as much recognition locally, but his skill was loved internationally.
Avec toutes les générations d'artistes ici au Sénégal et à l'étranger aussi.
He performed with all generations of artists here in Senegal and abroad. He was an extremely well-known man internationally. He traveled the world. Today Senegal has lost someone very important to the general culture. It truly is a huge loss.
Ndiaye Rose has enchanted audiences from Paris to Tokyo by beating his sabar, a Senegalese drum made out of cow or sheep skin, originally used to communicate between villages. Even though he was a treasure in the music industry, Ndiaye Rose really made a name for himself. He was not only a typical musician, but was also known as a mathematician of rhythms.
Ce que je retiens de l'homme, c'est d'abord sa simplicité.
What I first remember about this man is his simplicity. He was a great monument, but was always a very discreet man, an incredible simple man, very humble but fully committed to his culture, to African dignity.
He died 2 days after the passing of another Senegalese drummer, Sing Fai, who was also Ndiaye's close friend.
May their souls rest in peace. The creator of Zaf Leather, one of the most recognizable Ethiopian brands in the world, is a young lady rooted in her African heritage, but very much a citizen of the world. Abai Schulz is putting to good use the skills she learned in America as a student by bringing to life her long-time dream of designing luxury bags with their unique signature look, blending leather with the traditional Ethiopian fabric called tillet.
Hands-on and giving attention to detail. Armed with an economics degree from Georgetown University in the US, designer Abai Schulz is back in her home country to make a name for herself in the fashion industry. Abai is the founder of ZAAF Leather, a brand specializing in manufacturing luxury bags and leather accessories. Her bags are made by hand using locally sourced leather and traditional Ethiopian fabric known as tillet. Abai's creations offer a mix of modern design and traditional detail that appeals to markets around the world.
People really want to look unique, have a unique product, and they appreciate handcrafted products that kind of looks cool and then also functional, and that has a lot of traditions, background stories with it.
Most ZAAF customers live outside Ethiopia, and Abai's growth strategy is pegged on markets abroad. But she still has a huge market in her country. Most of her local customers are drawn to her unique and modern designs. With a price tag of between $70 and $700 US, that is not a steep price to pay for luxury and uniqueness.
The designs are beautiful, it's well done, you can tell the material is well chosen, but also it's the idea that Ethiopian products can be really quality, really beautiful, and up to a standard of the American products or the European products.
The idea is amazing. I mean, to think that, you have quality products made here, employing people here, and then selling it on a platform and competing with, bags that are, let's say made in Italy or made in France or all these high premium products.
Abai is definitely making a name for herself. Last year, she was awarded the UNESCO Trampoline Prize for Social Entrepreneurship, recognizing her efforts to empower vulnerable Ethiopians through enterprise.
Stay tuned to Afroshowbiz News. After the break, we talk the Digital Edge live experience. And later in the show, Afro soul singer Eves Mangleba joins us on the stage.
Across the globe, locally, and on the entire continent. Every second, every minute, and every hour. There's always a breaking story. We commit to giving you the most important, significant, and interesting news. That's why it is not a surprise that more Africans are tuning to SABC News to find out what is happening. Because when news break, we've got you covered. SABC News, Africa's news leader.
Welcome back. The Digital Edge Live is the definitive guide to key global trends from the world's best innovative minds. Now in its 7th year, this year's experience taking place in Johannesburg in just a little bit over a week promises to be a hub of creative genius where those with a keen sense and desire to gain valuable industry knowledge to set them apart as international media players will benefit from. Joining me in studio now from Native VML, South Africa's largest fully integrated digital agency, is Loki Maharman. Welcome to Afroshowbiz News, Loki.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. And I mean, you know, the big news right now is this Digital Edge Live experience. Tell us about this and what is it that people can expect?
Well, the Digital Edge Live has basically set the tone of marketing type events in the marketing events calendar. Every year we build the event as a show. It's not a conference. We absolutely hate your death by PowerPoint type conferences. And it's a fully immersed experience that delegates can look forward to taking key takeouts into their businesses that will take them forward.
Awesome. And I mean, in a saturated industry, you know, such as showbiz, media, advertising as a whole, what do you think is required for businesses to stand out?
Well, the theme of this year is called Making Stories. And that is exactly what businesses need to do. In a world saturated with media, it is where marketers that has a mastery of content as well as technology can take the customers on a journey where they are collaborators as well.
Sure. And of course, digital storytelling is just that. It's the practice of combining narrative with digital content and just fusing that. And I mean, nowadays, you know, the beauty of this is that stories can be created everywhere by anybody and, you know, broadcast to the rest of the world at the touch of a button.
Exactly. Any consumer with a camera phone can tell a story. And that is the mind shift that marketers need to make. They are simply the conduits of the platforms, whereas your consumer actually tells your brand story and you need to bring them into your brand story.
All right. And the days, of course, where, you know, traditional mainstream education and qualifications were absolutely vital to be a success, I think that notion is being dispelled more and more when we see, you know, great examples from South Africa and even internationally.
Yes, absolutely. And this, the Digital Edge Live actually gives you an opportunity to get those insights from your leading thinkers within digital as well. And you know, the proliferation of media across the board allows people to experiment and become experts in their own rights.
All right. And, you know, one thing obviously that's very vital is that to have longevity and to thrive, one also does need, you know, some business acumen. And that's the great thing about your panel in that it's, you know, media practitioners, it's business people, but there's a wide range that everybody can learn something from.
Yes, absolutely. And we pride ourselves that we have a diverse panel of speakers from your business, your big brands, as well as from the agency sphere as well. Names like Lucia Maseko from Nestle, Kalenga from Facebook, as well as Jason Sinopoulos from Native VML.
All right.
Yes.
And the big international headliner this year is, of course, Mr. Spike Lee.
Of course.
You know, a forerunner in the do-it-yourself school of independent media, who's done great work, revolutionized, you know, television and film, and is an author right now. And I mean, he's done some great work nowadays with campaigns for ESPN and Nike and Levi's.
Absolutely. And I mean, we thought that Spike Lee is the exact person that we need to bring out. He is one of the world's leading storytellers, actually now becoming the leading digital storyteller as well. And actually, because of his commercial work and him marketing to diverse audiences across the world, we thought, especially for South Africa, that is so important because of our diverse culture locally as well as in Africa as well.
Wow, we can't wait. I mean, Spike Lee is a wealth of, you know, knowledge in all types of media, actually. And I mean, what would you have to say to people who are of the notion that, you know what, the tried and tested formula, an old way of doing things is what they want, and they don't want to join in the digital era?
Well, all I can say is that if your brand doesn't evolve, you're going to die. We see Netflix completely changing the way that people consume media. So, you know, as a prime example, we would encourage you to come through to the event and learn what's happening at the forefront of digital trends in the world.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Loki, for your time, and we look forward to the experience on the 9th of September. That was Loki Macherman telling us about the 2015 Digital Age Live experience taking place at the Sandton Convention Center on the 9th of September. So for an incredible opportunity to learn from and network with game changers, icons, global brand giants, make sure not to miss it. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more on Afroshowbiz News. A body of work titled Top Up Inside Out by a group of 12 artists from the southwestern townships, popularly known as Soweto, is currently being exhibited at the University of Johannesburg's Art Gallery. Also at the Goodman Gallery in Rosebank is a solo exhibition by a Cape Townian artist who uses his work to cast light on how much work is still to be done to move past our history.
The streets of Soweto are slowly weaving and incorporating into the arts in a unique manner. This thanks to a group of 12 artists who came together and created the Ubuhle Bobuntu art in 2011. The exhibition, titled Top Up Inside Out, looks at the identities of cultures in their society by using the objects we seldom take note of on a day-to-day basis.
This exhibition, Top Up Inside Out, it looks at what we can do as artists, you know, in terms of creating a new language, you know, where culture and identity is being expressed through our innovative ways.
Each artist comes with their own personal element that separates him or her from the others in the company. The different form and use of material is what creates an individual thematic significance to the entire collection.
Working together, you know, we can have like different inputs from different artists, you know, so it works like that in a collaboration where we come and create each other, you know, share ideas and, you know, motivate each other in a way, you know. So it's about us having this vision and with coming like with innovative art that can separate us from the entire industry, you know.
Thabo Molapo took what he saw on television in the 90s and the weaving experience of his late grandmother as a tool to express colorful images that come from everyday situations he comes across in the townships.
I was inspired by you know, they did Kiral Scott or Swex, those people, they used to document the life of the people where they live, you see. Yeah, there was a lot of people who are suffering, you see. Yeah, you see some of the people that are selling things on the streets, some of the people are going around with children, you see. Yeah.
Running out of material does not seem to be a concern for this team, as most of the material is sourced from the environment. The phrase, use what you got, has been beneficial for Ubuhle Bobuntu arts, as not only are they protecting the carbon footprint, but they spend next to nothing to create the art.
In Soweto, there are no art shops, you know. You know, we can go around Soweto, you won't find any like art shop like the Habit events in Sandton, you know. So we use what you have, you know, we use materials that can sustain us in the long run, because it's an abundant material that is being is waste, like reinvent. You don't have to go and buy everything, and you must create our own things. It's also part of Top Up Inside Out, where we come in and show people that you can do more without waiting for resources to come. You can just take waste and do something out of it.
One of the major projects this art company has is to help the society of Soweto to participate and understand the value of art. They believe that a better portion of the youth is not connecting with art. The collaboration of art mediums, somehow bridging the gap, is what they're trying to achieve.
We usually have public art events, where we come and teach them, about the value of art. That is very important in terms of getting our market there. So we try and teach our black community in terms to invest in art. Because I can say it's a market for white people. They understand that business. So I think through our public exhibitions, we have art in the park. We have lifestyle events where we mix music and house, house music and art, to get that youth to come and see our exhibitions.
This exhibition will run up until the 23rd of September. Just pop in at the UJ Art Gallery and experience how global issues can be portrayed through the use of materials such as breadcrumbs, sticks, cow dung, cans, rubber, and a whole lot more. For Afroshowbiz News, I'm Selepe Maifadi.
Meanwhile, the first solo exhibition by Harun Ganseli, currently on at the Goodman Gallery. The exhibition cast light on transitional contemporary South Africa. Titled History After Apartheid, the exhibition takes its name from the new work in the form of a major interactive installation, a portfolio of 2 color prints and 2-channel film. This exhibition addresses the apartheid security force use of purple dye dispensed from water cannons on armored vehicles to mark protesters attending mass democracy marches and demonstrations to identify and arrest those in attendance. The color use differs from country to country.
History after apartheid, and it looks at the apartheid invented technique of marking protesters with colorful dye. Now, throughout the global south this happens today. In Turkey, they use yellow. In Bangladesh, they use pink. So do they use pink in Uganda. In Hungary, they use green and blue. In India, like in apartheid, they used purple. And Israel uses a bright cerulean blue to mark Palestinian protesters. They all are using this technique to push down dissent, mostly pro-democracy protests. And what we have is an interactive installation that puts viewers in the perspective of the protesters.
Consisting of 3 thematically related bodies of work, this exhibition elaborates on areas that have come to define Ganseli's practice, that is sought specific intervention, public art and dialogue based on collaboration.
There's something different that happens in the mind of a viewer when you approach a sculpture than when you approach an artwork, because artworks don't normally speak back. It's a one-way process. Here's the message, you are receptive for it. When you approach this, you see the ghosted figures beyond the kufia. You engage with these sculptures as objects of real life. They become believable.
Harun was born in 1989 in Cape Town and is currently based between Cape Town and Johannesburg. He has been an active participant in the local contemporary art scene while completing his honors in sculpture at the Michaelis School of Fine Art in 2012. His work has featured on major international exhibitions, including the South African Pavilion at the Venice Biennale.
Wow, a very, very thought-provoking exhibition there indeed. After the break, we have more. Stay tuned to Afroshowbiz News.
Nelson Mandela, keeping a watch over a myriad of statues, from generals and presidents to literary figures and humanitarianists. More recently, those who fought for freedom.
So there's no need to destroy. If at the end of the day, the statue has to be removed from where it is, it will be removed.
President Jacob Zuma and his counterparts will witness the signing of a number of bilateral trade and investment agreements.
Campaigns to eradicate racial discrimination and hostility succeeded. The nation now rallies behind President Paul Kagame.
Catch all news locally and internationally. Tune into SABC, your #1 news channel, News at 8 from Monday to Sunday.
Welcome back to Afroshowbiz News. We will soon have the lovely sounds from Yves Mangleba shortly, but before that, a cutting-edge street festival in the old slave town of Jamestown in Ghana, showcasing the evolution of African art, recently took place. The Chale Wat Street Art Festival was founded by Accra.alt, a cultural network in Accra celebrating possibilities for exchanges between Ghanaian and international artists. And this year's theme was African electronics. Have a look.
Judging by the number of visitors at this event, it is clear that art plays an important role in keeping the population hopeful, and organizers could not have picked a better theme than this year's. Dubbed African Electronics, it makes reference to the creative power of Ghana's art talents and how art has always helped the country emerge from difficult moments in history. Streets got a complete makeover. These painters expressing themselves through paint and brush, whilst giving the public free access to art. Ghana has experienced trying times with frequent power blackouts that have angered voters and had business. And such festivals bring back hope where it's lost.
We are creating a counter economy. The creative economy is going to take over this country. You know, the creative economy is going to save this country.
Zakari Rufai is an artist whose work is found in several public spaces around Accra. He also attended the festival. He hopes to empower the youth by changing public areas using murals and graffiti.
If they are able to listen to every artist of this nation who did something like this for the public, I think, yeah, they can change it. They can change the image of this country.
The 3-day event attracted a lot of visitors.
And finally is the moment where we are talking to Yves Mangleba, who is here gracing our stage on Afroshowbiz News. Welcome, Yves.
I'm happy to be here, thank you.
Glad that you and Gerard are here, your producer. And you met him about 11 years ago, after the Shell Road Music to Fame. Tell us about the journey it's been with working with him.
Well, my journey has been a long journey, but you know, it's all about perseverance in the industry. It started way back from Shell Road to Fame, like you said, but I had to come to Joburg to pursue this this dream of mine, and luckily for me, I was part of the National School of the Arts, and that's when I got to learn a lot about music before coming out. And obviously, when you're in art school, you think that things are gonna, you know, come together and all of that stuff, but they didn't really, because I had to go to Idols, and then that was the same year that I met Gerard, and this is like 8 years ago, and I'd say the rest is history, because I waited 8 years to work on this project with him, because he's one of the best producers in South Africa, and he's very busy, so I had to wait for him, and I'm here right now with my album 7, and yeah.
And how's that doing since it's been released? I mean, how are people taking to your sound?
They're taking it well, because luckily for me, they say that well, sound like Yves. I don't sound like anybody else, although there are references.
And your name
obviously.
is very unique as well, so people won't forget.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm enjoying each and every moment, and the album is doing well. and people are receiving the songs very well.
Awesome. And some of the people that you've worked with, you have a few people, and Harrison Crump in particular, I was very curious about that. Yes. What kind of sound did he bring and elements to your music?
Okay, Harrison Crump actually wrote one of my songs on the album, and my album is basically Afrofusion, so it's a mixture of jazz, Afro soul, lounge, and all of that stuff. So he came in with a different twist because he's American, and I had to come out of my comfort zone. And Sorry is the song that he wrote for me, and he just took me out of my comfort zone. And it was an amazing experience.
And that's precisely what you need, and that's precisely what people will remember you for when you show that kind of versatility. Thank you so very much for coming through. And take it away with a song called
Bayeza.
Bayeza. Thank you so very much.
Diabakisha titikwe kubethwa nguwe mntwana womuntu awusandithandi awukhathali ulwa nami insuku nezolo. In my heart I never knew you'd be this way. And in my mind I never thought you'd go astray. I'm leaving Bayeza umalume besizane ngomo zakho. Ufuna omnye umuntu ozonyamezela lento yakho. Didikiwe Bayeza umalume besizane ngomo zakho. I'm leaving you. Didikiwe ufuna omnye umuntu ozonyamezela lento yakho. Dihambile dibonile dibulela usomandla ngokundibonise ngendlela. I'm doing fine, I'm climbing high, going back to the person I used to be. Finally I'm free, finally I'm me, finally I see. Dimkile Bayeza umalume besizane ngomo zakho. I'm leaving you. Didikiwe ufuna omnye umuntu ozonyamezela lento yakho. Didikiwe Bayeza umalume besizane ngomo zakho. I'm leaving you. Didikiwe ufuna omnye umuntu ozonyamezela lento yakho.